mistake I see being made the most is probably bearing the information. So it's just very simple, you know, who, what, where, when, and why. And I'll see great stories and I'll see great pitches. But if I have to read more than 2 paragraphs and really spend time looking to see when your event exactly is, then we're not going to finish reading the pitch. And really, you really only have somebody's attention for a few seconds, so everything has to be clear. And another thing is, you know, your pitch can be great, but just make sure you're sending it to the right people. And you should put as much effort into your pitch as to figure out who you should be sending it to. So let's say there is you know, a certain reporter that deals with the beat, whether it is health, crime, whatever, however it relates to your story, make it personalized, spend that extra 2 minutes to put their name in. You know, we're kind of special in the media. We like to feel special. We don't like to get the blanket emails. If I know it's directed at CTV Toronto newsroom, even if I get it, I'll send it to them. If it's sent to national, they'll send it to me. So just make sure you're sending it to the right people, and then follow up. And if you're not sure who to send it to, call the newsroom receptionists. They are a great resource. Here's the type of event you have. Who is the assignment editor is probably a question you want to ask whenever you contact a newsroom. The assignment editor sort of keeps, like you were saying, future lists of events that are coming up, and they'll talk to the producer. Here are the, you know, the 10 events we have today. Here are the press releases. Which ones should we cover? So just finding out who to send it to is just as important as the content. Just hooking your events to certain things. It's called like a news hook. So let's say you're planning to have a free food for the homeless or whatever, and it's an arbitrary date and you can pick whatever. If you look at the calendar, oh, World Hunger Day is coming up in a week, try to have it on that day, try to have it that week, because we will be looking for stories like that. So if it's something that you can pick and choose, try to make it around an event. I'll just give you a small example. We had somebody pitch today. There's a 7-year-old kid who lives in Thornhill, and he plays tennis like a 15-year-old. Normally, we wouldn't really, pay much attention to that, but it's the Olympics, and everybody's talking about, you know, athletes and stuff, so we are going to go interview him tomorrow, and he's from the same town as Milos. So just things like that. Think of what's happening in the news, think of the big stories, and if you can tie in your hook, then the chances of you getting coverage is much greater. When my cousin's video came out, when he was attacked in Quebec City, we wanted to get someone from the community to comment on it, not just, you know, the average person, of course, their reaction, but we said, well, let's try the World Sikh Organization. I think we went through 10, 12 different people. I finally called Bhupinder, and I'm like, I need somebody at 6 o'clock, the story's airing across Canada, who can you get me? And it was so difficult, and it was just really frustrating that a story that we could do in our community that was right in our hands, it was so difficult to find somebody to speak about. So we definitely need to be more organized in that respect. I think you just have to think of the type of stories that you would be interested in and pitch it that way. Let's say your friend posts something on Facebook, you know, an article. If you're going to click on that article, present your press release in that way. Why is this something that they should read? Why is it something that they should open? And we look at a lot of times our news is based on what's trending. So, you know, if you know that if your press release is something a stranger gave you and you wouldn't read and you wouldn't present it that way, then we probably won't either.